Hello guys, happy Sunday. Oh, happy Sunday. Happy last week, right, of August. Where has the time gone? Oh my goodness. Hello guys, I have missed you. I missed being here last week. Had a fantastic time at OKC Painting Palooza, which I'll share a little bit with you. And let's just see who's here. Hi, Loretta. I have your order packed up and ready to go. Hi, Sandy. Hello, Chris, Lori, Sue, Janet Mills. It was so wonderful seeing you at OKC, and you as well, Deb Trammell. Hello, Holly. And Loretta, yes, loved having you in my classes too. Great to see you there always. Hi, Linda Grass and Mary. I know, it's almost September, right? That's crazy. Hello, Sherry Ann. Let's see who else is over on YouTube. We've got Leticia and Sharon and Kathy and Chris and Emma. My YouTube's acting a little weird, so it might. Hi, Ann McGow and Charlene. Hello, Debbie Sears. Hi, Mona. Hi, Bonnie. I know I got a message on Sunday as we're driving home. Love you guys so much. And I would have loved to have come live while we were driving home, but I was so tired. Hi, Laura. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Virginia. So when we left on Saturday after the booth, I was not talking. And my husband goes, "Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." This is my routine. So, hi, Patrick. Bonjour. Thank you so much for sharing the post. I know, right, Mona? I know. I wish I could be here every Sunday. So, before we go any further, I'm Sandy McTeer. Welcome into my studio. I am smack dab in the middle of the state of Georgia. Let me know if this is your first time, where you're viewing from. Let me know what state, country, etc. Would love to. I was on vacation to India. Oh, I love that, Mona. It's on my bucket list to go there. I really, really, really want to go there. I have some friends that are there. I have a lady in my membership groups that is and still lives there. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Pam. All right, so yeah, let me know if you're new and where you're viewing from. And even if you're not new, where you're viewing from. So yes, OKC was fantastic. Just busy, busy, busy. Missed my partner in crime that would travel with me, my second mama. Hi, Donna. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Melinda. Oh, yes, India is hot, right? They've got some hot weather over there. But I'm glad you had amazing weather, so that's great. Anyway, OKC was wonderful. Let me just say there are many conventions. There are a few conventions in probably early 2000s. I could say there were many. Now there are a few. I'm going to be sharing with you guys next Sunday about the expo, the art expo that's going to be in Trussville, Alabama. That one was held in Chattanooga last year. They skipped this year, but coming back even better and more amazing next year. So, hi, Eileen. First time, Hill Country, Texas. Oh, Hill Country, Texas Tollers. Thanks for being here. I'm actually teaching Boots and Brushes in Texas seminar next month. I just came back, a couple months ago from Sherman, Texas. I've been to Arlington, Texas to paint. Have been to Houston to paint as well. Love, love, love. visiting all those different places. And when I was in Houston, my sweet friends, Nanette and Pam and Beverly took me to see Galveston and the coast, and just, the historical homes. And just, I love to do that when I come to an area that's new, to be able to sightsee, because usually it's in, teach, and home. So, yes. Oh, and feel free to please post that, Loretta, if you want to post the dates and everything. Hi, Carolyn. I've not seen your name in a long time. Wes Neiman, so good to see you here. Hi, Linda Honeycutt and Shirley. Oh, so, yes, I'm excited about the one next year as well. Next year, OKC, and let me just see, I probably should have updated this before I went live today. Hello. So this was this year's, but right there at the bottom, it will show you the website, and you can go there and get all the information you need for OKC Painting Palooza 2026. It is their 10th anniversary. So you will be, thank you, Mona. So you will be part of history. I mean, it's the 10th Oklahoma OKC Painting Palooza. And I have been to all but one. The first one, I was in Taiwan teaching, so I didn't get to go to the first, but I've been to all of them since. And then, like I said, the OKC, the Art Expo is in Trussville, Alabama next June, the 24th to the 27th, I think, 2026. It's near Birmingham, so if you're going to fly in, you can fly into Birmingham, and it's like 15 miles away. Or you can fly into Atlanta, rent a car, and drive over. So, thank you guys so much for putting those links in. Oh, come on, Patrick. You can come from France. Come on. Right? Okay, so let's just kind of recap. So I wasn't live last Sunday because, of course, I was at OKC. And we have some Happy Mail packages going out. So all you have to do is like, comment, share on this post to be entered into Happy Mail giveaway drawings for next week, because I will be live with you guys next week. I am home. Hi, Donna in Ohio. Good to see you here. So the only thing I asked was if you guys went back and watched like older video. Oh, it's raining. Older videos, and it's 82 degrees right now in Georgia. So we have a little bit of a cold front instead of 95 or 99. Thank you, Mona. I appreciate that. Okay, so if you like, comment, share, you're entered into the giveaways. What I do is at the end of our video through the next time I go live, I take all the names, put them on a wheel. It doesn't matter if you posted 10 times, 1 time, 5 times, your name goes on the wheel. And then I draw for Happy Mail. So I have 3 Happy Mail packages going out. They will go out this week. The first name that popped up on the wheel is Kay Merriman. I cannot tell you, you watched a lot of YouTube videos since the last time. Okay, and Happy Mail number 2 is probably my cheerleader. I'm going to call her that. She is a sparkle, a cheerleader, just a, what is it? A wordsmith to make you feel good. She just leaves the sweetest comments, not just on my posts, not just in my membership group, but on so many posts I see on Facebook. Diane, you just leave the sweetest notes to let people know that they're special and that you care. So I greatly appreciate you. Okay, and then the third name that popped on the wheel was a familiar one as well, Deb Daniker. Another fantastic cheerleader. Another, I love your posts and comments that you make, because you make people feel special. And I don't know about y'all, but right now we just need to let the people know that we either are related to, or that we're friends with, or that we're connected with through Facebook, YouTube, the interwebs, whatever you want to call it, that we appreciate each other. So I just want to say, I greatly appreciate y'all. You kept watching videos when I was gone this past week, and I so greatly appreciate that. So, and I love that you tune in when I'm live, or if you can't live, let me know that you watched the replay. Okay? It was wonderful to see you and Stephen too, and hug you. Oh, I loved that, Janet. Thank you so much. I just got a rain alert on my watch. Yeah, it's sprinkling here right now, and it just went down to 80. So, you're in East Texas, Kathy. Texas is such a long state. Let me just say, when we would drive from California, where I was growing up, till 6th grade, and we would go visit grandparents and do baton contests in Asheville, North Carolina, and then visit my grandparents in Maryland, we would drive through the state of Texas. And I'm like, where are we at? My mom, we're in Texas. Next day, where are we at? We're in Texas. Later that night, where are we at? We're still in Texas. It's a very long state, kind of like Tennessee. Oh, Donna, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hello, Pat Baxter. I miss seeing you this year. Loved your lies. Oh, thank you, Eileen. I tried to, yes, thank you, Peg. I tried to bring you guys along. I know there are a lot of pictures and a lot of videos, and, well, not a lot of videos, but more a lot of pictures that, right, Loretta? Yes, you probably see cows on the road in Texas. It's a long week, and I think my husband, like I said, when we drove after the trade show on Saturday, we drove to Arkansas. So it's like 4.5, 5 hours. And when Barb and I go up to OKC over the last 9 years, we would chit-chat, catch up. On the way home, we barely spoke because we're just so tired. So when my husband said, is everything okay? I'm like, everything is fine, but I don't have a voice. I'm tired of hearing my voice. I'm tired of talking. So anyway, oh, I would love that. Hi, Kathy Pruitt. New here. Niece, oh, a Peg. Oh, she's just the best. Hello, Dion. I'm so glad you're here. All righty. Come to Tyler, Texas, and I would love that. Do you guys have a group down there, Kathy McLean? I would love that. Like I said, I'm painting next month with Boots and Brushes in Texas, but that is virtual. And then I have a local seminar. So I have some, so I already did the Happy Mail giveaways. Y'all, I know your info, I think, for everybody. I will get that out to you. Oh my goodness, right, Loretta? Yes, I was just about to say that. So thankfully, knock on wood, I did not come home with any kind of a cold or sickness or anything else. Oh, Lucy Mott, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being persistent. Hi, Karen. Hello, Dawn. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many times I thought about you this past week at Oklahoma. And just, I miss seeing your face. I miss your sunshine, your happy self. That industry just is not the same without you. So anyway, so Dawn was the editor-in-chief of Interactive Artist Magazine. No. She was the owner. I was the editor-in-chief of Interactive Artist Magazine. And her father owned Martin F. Weber, and that's how I started going to Taiwan. Actually, it was Patty Reichenbach that suggested my name. And anyway, I love and miss you. Oh, thank you. Hello, Molly Ann. Good to see you. Facebook can be squirrely, right? As can YouTube and anything else. So even when I was trying to do lives from the trade show floor at OKC, I'm just like, Okay, I gotta get to another place, gotta get to another place. So I know it cut out. A couple of you messaged me, and you know, you can only do what you can do while you're there, right? So, but I wanted to share the other vendors. The trade show floor was packed this year, meaning that all the booth spaces were covered. They were all taken. It's been a couple years since the pandemic that happened, but that was fantastic to see. There were some booths there that were selling kind of legacy pieces. So Gretchen Kegel, Avis Moore, and then my sweet friend Laura Haberstraw brought some surfaces and packets and books and things from her dear sweet friend Barbara, who passed. And her husband was finally ready to let them go. So she brought, and let me just say, those people cleaned up on some deals. So, thank you, Dawn. Yes, the internet is so sporadic, right? I did get some happy mail in person, I should say. So what is it? People mail? In-person mail? And there's too many to share, and I don't want this live to be super long, but I wanted to share those with you. So my sweet friend Kathy McAllister painted me this, and I love it. I know it is a Erica Joanne design. I have her butterflies over there and her angels right behind me. So I'm just going to stick that there. And then my sweet dear friend, Virginia Mann, just adore all these ladies. And she made the cutest little flower pot. And I'm sure that's like quick wood or something. Is it quick? Oh no, it's a little wooden knob. How fun is that? And then it had this peony in it. So she just makes me giggle and smile. Love, love, love. All right, so I'm gonna move her over there because I don't want her to get messed up. And then Patrice, I met her, I don't know, 2-3 years ago when she took a class for me, and instantly just connected, bonded with her. She's fantastic. And she got me this sweet little VW bus succulent. Is that not the cutest? Now, I don't know. I think the succulent is plastic, which is great because I won't kill it. So let me just put that back there. And then my sweet friend Nanette down in Texas, in Houston, with the little bluebells, or are they blue bonnets? I think those are blue bonnets, right? Okay, I have one and then my last one. So my sweet friend, Laura Haberstraw, I did a couple things for their table this year, and their table was fantastic. All the tables were amazing. And I wish I had been on it a little more to take pictures of all the centerpieces. Even Lori Puskowski-Schmidt, who I sat at the table, I have to say I was a little worried, Lori, because you said you didn't do anything, but you pulled it out of somewhere because our table was adorable. It looked cute. Anyway, Laura Haberstraw gave me this. Her strap on her purse broke or something like that, Laura, right? And so she went to get a new purse at an outlet that's close to OKC, and she got me this really cute little document. I'm going to put my passport in it when I travel. But anyway, super sweet. And then probably just one of the sweetest gifts, because again, this lady I met, I think the very first time, either at Vegas or at Hoot painting convention, and her and I instantly clicked. Stephanie Hudson Hauser, and her uncle made these. And it is a pen that has been made out of wooden pencils. Have you guys seen those? Like on the stories or the reels on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and they show like the process. So when I open that, let me just say, Stephanie, who shares a birthday with my husband, and both their birthdays were on the last day of the convention. I love it. Thank you so very much. So, so pretty. So they were born on the same day, the same year. I don't know about the same time, but anyway. Yes. Oh, awesome. So Ronnie Marks is going to be posting those blue bonnets. Yes, that's what I thought. I did see that reel. It was amazing. Awesome, guys. Yes, Kathy McAllister is so very talented. Just, again, someone who, when we met, you know, you just instantly click with those people. I miss Hoot too. So do I. They do have an online and in-person painting, but it's not the same. The very first national painting convention that I went to was Hoot. And there were 862 or 882 people there. And the banquet, I think there were 800 people plus at the banquet. It was fantastic and amazing. And, you know, I know that it's not in the cards for everybody, but if you're able to go to a convention, if you're able to support, do I have it here? I hope, did I not grab it? Oh, I didn't grab it. Things like Painting World Magazine, things in the industry that we need to continue to support, because I don't want this to go away, right? I'm looking because I know I grabbed it. I just don't know where I put it. But Painting World Magazine, I'm going to share more with you guys soon about that. I've been on the cover a couple times. I've been published in there a couple times. It is really the last decorative painting, creative painting book that we have out there. And it's not just decorative painting. You know, you have some mixed media, you've got color pencil, you have Tamara Bennett, who has Southern Adornments, just had a really nice article in there written about her doing her door hangings. So it is a fantastic resource. And for the money, it's nothing. If you think about doing 8 to 10 projects and you have to buy 8 to 10 packets, whether they're download or printed or whatever, you're talking at least $8 to $10. So the price per year to subscribe is fantastic. And if anyone wants to put a link on YouTube or Facebook, I would love that. So Cole's asked me to write an, oh, I love that, Loretta. That's fantastic. Yes. Okay. OKC, APC, NET, and the Pacific Coast, the Pacific Pacific Coast Decorative Artist. They have a convention in April. I'm going to post all this soon. The banquet and receptions were amazing. So missed the show. Was my very first one in 1993. Wow. And my first one was in 2012. I taught for the first time in 2013. So it just goes to show you guys how long these things have been going on. So yes, the Portland Decorative Painting Convention is in, I subscribe to Painting World Magazine. Oh, Virginia, I love to hear that. Yes, and this is the thing. You might get an issue one month and go, you know, there's some projects in there that I probably won't paint. I'll be honest with you, I haven't painted one. They're all beautiful, but I buy it just to support. In fact, for a long time, I had 2 subscriptions, and I would just give the other subscription away. But I want them to be around, and I want to support them the way I can. And the only way I can is to subscribe. So if you're able to, that would be awesome. Alrighty, guys, let's move on. What was special about Hoot and that other conventions? I just know. Oh, so Hoot for the longest time was one of the largest, Patrick, and then you had Creative Painting in Vegas, which was also fantastic. That actually was my first national convention to go to as a student. That was 2010, and then 2012 was Hoot. just I think Dory put it from Net. She used to run Net, and now you've got Robin and a couple other people that are doing that. But she put it really well when she was posting from OKC. The camaraderie, the excitement, the being around other creative people, the different techniques and lessons and things that you learn. The banquet was always something that I enjoyed at Hoot and that I love at OKC. Funny enough, in creative painting, there was no banquet. There was no opening an event, like a special event. There was no banquet at the end of it, but it was still electric and fun and exciting. World of Color was another one that David Vernon put on, and he would have snacks and do free breakfast on opening day of the trade show. And I mean, he did a lot of things for his attendees. Unfortunately, I don't know if it was timing or what, but it did not take off. And so like that, like many others, have kind of come to a close. So what I wanted to share real quick, because let me just come here and see. Hoot was amazing. We did not know how lucky right? Toll shops. Exactly. Now, what I would love to know is, in your town or close by, maybe a bigger town close to you. So I live in a very small town, but I live very close to Macon and I live very close to Atlanta. I would love to know in the comments if you guys will put any art store other than the big box stores, and you can put those too, the big box stores, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Unfortunately, Joann's closed, but if you have a Dick Blick, any of those stores, but if you have a fine art craft scrapbooking store in your area or around, will you put that in the comments, okay? Because I'm going to Atlanta when October, after I get back from Net, to demo at Binders, which is in Atlanta. It's in kind of Peachtree City, Buckhead area. I live 2.5 hours away from it, and I've never been. And I know the people that run it, but I've never been able to go up there and shop. So I'm excited to go there, but I would love to know where you get your paint, where you get your supplies. Do you order online? Do you go to a local fine art or a craft shop, toll painting shop, or do you go to the big box stores? Because we know they don't carry everything, right? And they're doing more private label things. And let me just tell you guys, we the people need to speak up because if they're not carrying what we want, we need to let them know. So I don't want a Hobby Lobby knockoff. I want my Deco Art paint. I don't want a metallic luster knockoff like I saw at Michael's the other day. I want metallic luster by Deco Art. So yes, Hoot was fantastic. And the traffic there, amazing. As far as like the people that came in and shopped, you would get bus loads of people that came in and shopped the trade show floor. I think that's one of the things missing in conventions right now, because I remember that and doing a booth with Deco Art. I was demoing, and the whole weekend or week that the trade show was going on, and the amount of local traffic that came through was incredible. So any way we can get that out to the locals, to the local areas where those conventions are, I think is a plus. And they did do that at OKC this year. They reached out to their ABC, CBS, NBC. They had an interview on site. I think Karen Brower did that one. Cindy Mikowski and Darla talked on radio and did interviews. And there was a little more traffic, just not enough traffic. So in those areas like OKC, I just found on Facebook yesterday, they have an art alliance, OKC Art Alliance or something. You know, those are the people we need to be bringing in and sharing and showing that come teach here, come demo, you know? So, yes, bus loads from other states, absolutely. I loved shopping at Hoots. Yes, Hoots trade show floor was amazing. So, alrighty. OKC has a Jerry's Artorama, right? Absolutely. So those people, I would love to start seeing some of those come into the convention a little bit more. Okay, let's just talk about real quick. Going to keep track of my time. Let's talk real quick about classes. So I did a very mixed media piece, as you know. I did my butterfly, and I don't know if I have it on here. Do I? I think I took it down because it was already over. But this is what I'm teaching at NET, which is New England Traditions Convention. It's in Marlborough, Massachusetts. I'm doing that steampunk palette. So at OKC, I did a butterfly very similar, and I have to admit, I was shocked that there were 36 students there because it's so different than what is expected or what has been shown and offered at a decorative painting convention. However, with the times, we see people are painting with pencils, right? Colored pencils are big. There are many classes. Dotting is big. You've got Cindy Moore. You've got a couple other people. You have mudding. You have many acrylic painting classes. I will say probably one of my biggest disappointments in the selections is seeing how well received the oil painting classes are, because you have Sherry Roll. I mean, hello, incredible, talented, been in the industry for a long time. When I would go to Vegas Paints, creative painting in Vegas, I would always try and take at least a Robert Warren oil class, or Dorothy Dent when she was alive, or Bill Bear, because Bill Bear reminds me of my dad and just has the same humor, everything. At OKC, I think early on in the 10 years, more people took the oil painting classes, and you have people that, like Vilma Fabretti from Argentina that would come and teach, and her pieces are fantastic. But it seems to me that it's not the oil painting people that are coming to these conventions as much as in the past, and I would love to see that changed. So if I can get my act together, am going to do and submit a water-soluble oil class for next year. I've held off because I used to teach them when my favorite water-soluble oils were available, and that was with Debbie Oils, Martin F. Weber. And unfortunately, when they sold to another company, it just went away. So I have something on my foot that's tickling me. Sorry. So I was so disappointed to see that there weren't more oil painting classes. Oil also takes a little bit longer to dry, so if they're not offered early in the convention, you're going home with a wet piece. I get that. There are also things with turpentine and mediums that you might not want to use that you think maybe are toxic. I walked into Sherry Roll's class. She had quite a few students. I didn't smell a thing. I didn't smell the oils. I didn't smell any kind of mediums. So I would love to see those kind of come back and make a resurgence at OKC next year, maybe NET, and even Art Expo and the Pacific Convention. So I saw some oil pieces I'd love to paint, but I can't be. Yes, and I know that allergies and everything is another thing. Oh, water-soluble oils, Patrick. So you could thin them up to 30% with water. and they acted like an oil. They are an oil, but because there were properties that were modified, you could thin it with water and not turpentine or a medium that allowed you to extend and spread the paint. So, but I have a new supplier for the water soluble, and I know, right, Ronnie? I mean, hello, Robert Warren, if you're here, if you're listening, you need to come paint at convention. Yes, so Winston Newton also has the Artisan Water Soluble. I will say I did break down and buy the white when W oils went away, and I needed that for a class at Hoot, the last Hoot. I did break down. I will just say I really liked the W oils. Aw, thank you, Kathy. I know. And I came to Louisiana and painted how many times with you guys using them. So Beverly, it is on my list to do a water-soluble oil at the Art Expo. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, so you live in Dallas, Oregon. First I saw Emma, I saw Dallas, and I'm thinking Texas, and you go to Pinecraft, yes. So this is the other thing too, guys, and not to get on a soapbox, but support or look and see if you've got those art shops in your area. Even if it's a scrapbook store, do you know how many products cross-market between paper crafts and paint? Not so much deco art as much as I would love to see that crossover, but you have a lot of Ranger, a lot of Stampers Anonymous, a lot of those that Seth Apter that kind of switch back and forth between paper crafts, mixed media, painting, etc. So look up in your area and see if you find a new store. And if you do, share it with me and share it with your local peeps, right? So, thank you, Laura. I think those were peonies, right? Or did we do roses? I don't know. So, alrighty, guys. And then if you can't be there, which please, I totally understand the amount of money it takes to travel, to get a hotel, to get food while you're there, to take classes, to demo, to teach, to put on a booth, which is costly. If you can't be there, the best way that you can support that event is to share on your social media. Share when they advertise, share when your favorite teachers post something. If they do a live from there, share it to the groups, all the groups, whatever you can share to without getting your hands smacked. And let people know that these are still alive and they're still out there. I will say that I have kind of marketed myself with very good friends on the paper crafting side. And I would love to see them submit and teach. Christy and Janet and Aaron and so many of you guys, that Stacy, that you guys could come and teach a class painting handmade cards, stenciling and using products. So don't limit yourself and think that you can't attend or submit to teach because you're not doing the base coat highlight shade thing, okay? Because as much as I love base coat highlight shade, there are a lot of different things and a lot of different ways and techniques that you can create differently and make it just as beautiful and fun and creative. So, and that's my tip for today. I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things. I'm going to look at comments in a minute because I feel like I've been rambling on for a second, but I'm going to talk to you guys. Probably one of my most heard conversations in my classes from OKC was, wow, that made a big difference. And it was a wash of color. So I wanted to share with you guys just a few ways, not take too much of your time looking at my clock, because again, I don't want this to be too long. But I want to share with you guys a few ways that you can take your painted pieces that you think, oh, I need to sand that off. In fact, one lady said that in my class. She goes, I'm ready to sand this off and start over. And when I went and looked, it was not bad at all. I mean, I'm thinking that looks really pretty. However, you could change it with a wash of this and let it dry, and a wash of this and let it dry. So don't discount washes when it comes to your painting. There are ways to subdue things and push them in the background. There are ways to brighten things. And washes and layering color is one of my favorite ways to create and paint and design. So, hello Cindy, hello Debbie. She has a, Sandy, wish you could come to Florida. Oh, so yeah, I've been to Florida many times. Been to Jacksonville, I think, what, 2 or 3 times? I think 3 times, Jacksonville. Pinellas, which is the Tampa kind of area. I've been to the Orlando area. I've been to Port St. Lucie. Loved that area. In fact, I flew my husband to Miami to meet me in Miami after that seminar. But if you guys have a group, send me your information. I will send you my information, and I would love to come paint with you guys. Anywhere, anywhere. Doing washes of color over a piece I'm working on. Oh, I'd love to hear that, Laura. Right? It makes such a big difference. Okay, so let's get started. So at OKC, and I did prep a couple pages just with gesso because I didn't want to break out a surface. But one of my daughter lives near Port St. Lucie is beautiful. Thank you, Linda. I love you guys at Pinellas. I think I've been there 3-4 times. Always such a blast. Okay, so at OKC, in my journal class, I'm just gonna pop you down right here. We did my girl, and you can see the one I painted while in class. We also did my steampunk hummingbird. Now, I typically don't do this, but I did put a pattern e-packet on my website for this and for the steampunk hummingbird. So that was the one that was the one I did in class, which I was surprised kind of looks similar because I could never really paint the same thing twice. This was my group lesson with my membership group. We did a fall icon sampler, and I wanted to do a sampler different than how you would normally see a sampler, right? Hello, Linda Salsini. Right? Thank you, Lucy. Yes, Ronnie, she sure did, and your girl is beautiful. I hope you'll post a picture of her. Okay, so I'm just gonna move my chair back because I just wanted to show you when it comes to washes of color. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of quinacridone gold. This is in the media line. If you don't have that, you could use burnt orange. Or burnt sienna and a medium mezzaluna. Okay, actually I think I grabbed a large, which is fine, and a dry paper towel. Okay, but I'm going to do something on purpose to show you what a wash can do. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that quinacridone gold. And let's just put that on her cheek area. So I'm just doing a soft circular motion. I put it on and wiped almost all of it off. I love that, Ronnie, right? So I always say, too, when I'm painting my girls, I'm like, oh, we need a little Botox, or let's do a little filler in your cheeks and make them brighter. Okay, so this was the one I already went over. I want to show you that if you get something too dark, too bright, and you're just like, oh, I just need to, repaint her face, which is another comment that I heard. No, you don't. Let me show you what you do. So let's just zoom in a little bit so that you can see the difference, okay? A wash of color will tone this down. And it might be, and those people that took this class can tell you that we did 3 to 4 washes on her face to get to that point. So I have that natural buff, whatever skin tone color you want. You can mix this with a little bit of asphaltum or a little bit of quinacridone gold, just to get a little bit more brown. So with my number 8 flat Dynasty, I'm going to get some water, pick up some natural buff there that you can see. Now see how I pulled it away from the main puddle? Don't go to the middle, go to the edge and just work that in, okay? Now I'm going, swipe it across my paper towel just to get rid of the excess. And then go right over it. I'm just going to soften it with my finger because I did not grab a mop brush, but I will in a second. And y'all know my favorite mop brush is the Dynasty Medium IPC, which everyone in that class got for free. Thank you, thank you, thank you to my friends at Dynasty. Now, if you see a little hair that comes off your brush, leave it till it dries, all right? Because if you take it off, you're gonna move that color. But do you see how that just softened that look? So it was so intense, it was so dark, that it just changed the look, just a very simple wash of color. So backtrack, you know that the base of her face is one color. And if you put something on it that's too dark or too much, then just do a wash, okay? Now, I do have a couple of things I want to demonstrate that on a little bit differently. So let's say you have, and this is just a journal page out of my book. I'm just going to roll it back. And I did do a layer of gesso on it. So when you're doing washes of color, you're watering down the paint. You have more water than paint. Now, we do know that sometimes you can get too much water, right? You can water it down too much or so much that it loses its properties of adhesion. So there are some things that you can do to minimize that. So different mediums. Decor used to have a easy float, which I loved. Lydia Steves hooked me on this. Okay, Josanya has a flow medium, so it's, you know, for smooth base coating and line work. It thins the paint. The new Make It Stain, which, hold on one second, let me grab that. Hopefully, I grabbed the wrong one. Okay. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Goodness gracious, Sandy. I grabbed Make It Thick. We don't need that. We don't want it thick. But you can thin down the paint with a little bit of the Make It Stain. And the properties in this will help the paint adhere. Okay, so you could use a little water in your brush, a little Make It Stain mixed with your paint. The other one is the marker maker. This thins the paint for it to go through a marker. So it's going to thin the paint for you to be able to use it on and do washes. All right. And again, the properties of this are made for the best adhesion. The other is, again, just a little bit of water, unless you're doing glazing. Now, if you're doing glazing, I just got these in limited quantity. So I don't have many. I think I have 10 of these and 10 of these, 8 ounce and 2 ounce, right? So you can use those fast drying glaze mediums, Decor glazing medium if you're looking to glaze. But I just want to show you a couple things with washes. So if I'm going to come in with, let's say, a leaf. All right, I'm going to come in, let's layer. So I'll come in with some bright yellow first. I'm just going to stick it right here on my gray silicone mat. And with that number 8, thank you, Chris. Yeah, no, that flow medium should be still very usable, Patrick, because it's very thin. There is not a video for the girl, but she is in a pattern packet on my website, because she is actually an image that you decoupage onto the cover, as is the hummingbird. Okay, so I just have a number 8 flat. I'm going to get some water in my brush, pick up some yellow, and let's just draw a basic leaf shape. Okay, now when I would paint in oils or water-soluble oils, I always started with the transparent colors and built up to my more opaque colors. Okay, so we're going to kind of do the same thing. Thank you, Chris. So when you're painting in layers and transparent layers, you get such incredible depth that you don't get just with the base coat highlight shade. All right, so I will come in and let me find my favorite angle brush. I just want to get the basic shape of a leaf, so we'll use some plantation pine. All right, so I'm get some plantation pine. You can see right here on the upper right of the screen. And I'm just going to do a little light color of plantation pine right over it. We're just going to soften that. Okay, so it's got a little green tint to it now. All right, and let's dry that. So if you ever have something in your painting, you're like, ugh, that's just too purple, do a wash of pink or do a wash of asphaltum. Let's see, I think that's pretty dry. Now I'm going to go straight in on the toe with some plantation pine and just very, very loosely float that color and bring it up on the dark side of the leaf. Okay, and again, you can use that mop brush to soften out the look. All right, and then let's dry it. The other thing is depending on what look you're going for. So there is something on that. I think it's glue or resin. Let me just zoom in a wee bit. Okay. I'm going to draw out another leaf with that bright yellow, and then let's do another one because I wanted to show you it affects it differently. What color you put a wash on. So it can change the temperature of your piece. If you're using cool colors, you know, like a green or a blue. If you're using warm colors like orange or, we have to take the opposite color wheel. You know, that's a great question, Patrick. And yes, you know, we know the opposite on the color wheel is compatible with the color that we're using, right? But I want to show you 3 different looks. So we're going to do the same on these as well. And let's just get that plantation pine in there. The thing with a wash as well, guys, is a wash is thin. So if you don't like it, you have time to get that off. All right, you have time to take a baby wipe and go over it. And it's not heavy, heavy, heavy color. So if you don't like it, there is some time to fix it. I'm not liking this. I love this. So let's come in and pick up a little bit more green. Go up to the tip. I can't remember if I told you guys early in the beginning that I just booked my ticket to go back to Mexico to visit my brother-in-law who's there. And this time I'm going to go to San Miguel Allende and then to Mexico City for a week. I'm super, super excited about that. There's so many arts and galleries and things that I want to explore while I'm there. Again, it just depends on not necessarily the color wheel, but the look, the temperature, the final, let's see, is that dry? Piece that you want to bring to life, whether it has some warmth to it, whether it's got those cool colors. So this is, again, just plantation pine. I'm doing that right up the dark side of the leaf and then bringing it out a little bit so that we have a little bit of that green. But look at the yellow. You can still see the yellow, right? So when you're painting with transparent colors, you're building on the color. That's why I typically will come back with some plantation pine and Payne's gray to darken a color. Which I'm going to do now on all three of them. I just want to make that darker side dark so that you can see when you paint a wash over it, doesn't matter if you go over the dark side as well, it's going to keep its color. So this is Payne's Gray and Americana. You can mix the media line with Americana if you did not know that. Talked with many at OKC this year that did not know that you can mix them, that you can use them together. And they can make a huge difference in your art because the media line is extremely pigmented. Okay, so we've got our colors. Don't worry about outside the lines. Okay, now let's take green gold. Okay, if you want to make a leaf a little brighter, a wash, number 8 flat, little bit of paint. I just wipe my brush off to get the excess water out. That is going to bump that color up. Do you see how much more yellowy green that is? Okay, if you wanted to introduce another color in your leaf, you can do that with some washes. So I just grabbed some different colors, like some purple iris, maybe some crimson red. So again, and I like to use an angle brush for this. So my angle brush is clean on the toe. I'm going to pick up a little bit of purple and work that in. Doesn't matter if it migrates. All right. So I can bring in a little wash. I probably should have dried this one a little more because if they don't dry between, you get a nice blend sometimes, but you can also make mud. and we do not want to make mud, right? But if you're looking at a piece that you're painting, you're like, oh, it just needs something. Again, I'm going to show you on one of my 2 painted pieces that are oil and acrylic. Okay, so I can bring some color in. I can do a little wash of purple and make that darker. Okay, I can bring in a little bit of red, so like crimson red. And when that red goes over the yellow, it's going to make a little bit of an orangey look, right? When it's dry. Okay. Or some peacock teal. Let's get some peacock teal in there. And again, just on the toe. This is going to give you a cooler leaf with that blue that's interacting with the green and the Payne's gray and the yellow, whereas you got more warmth here, right, from the red and the yellow. You have more a coolness with that peacock teal and yellow. Okay, so it can change the temperature of your whole piece, right? Now, another thing is things that are dimensional. So this is a piece that is just a journal page that I took this steampunk clocks and gears stencil and I put gesso over the stencil. My biggest obstacle is how much water to use with the paint. I guess it's better to get washier than less washy. Great point, Melinda. So yes, you can use so much water that you're going to dilute the pigment, okay? And that's why I said if you have that marker maker or even some of that easy float they're very, very liquidy. This is more like a gel, but you could still thin it down and get a similar look. But let me just put a little bit of this out. And I'll get a big brush. And let's get out some different colors. So I think I'm going to do some cobalt turquoise hue. And instead of water, I'll use that marker maker. I'm not going to use the Easy Float. They don't make it anymore, but I wish they did. And so with this big 1 inch, I'm going to dip into that marker maker and then come over here, which you can't see, into that quinacridone gold. Okay, which is highly pigmented. Okay, but the thing with doing a wash is notice how it's going down into those grooves. Oop, I just went right into that whole big blob. Sandy, sandy, sandy. All right, let's just pick that up and bring that right in. So almost like kind of watercolor-ish. You can pick that up. Water is great. When you do washes, you want more water than pigment, more water than paint, but you don't want so much water that you don't see the pigment or that the adhesion is affected. So it's just kind of a playing game. Okay, now that's a little bit more. So I'm just going to pick up some more water. Wipe that off. Oh, need to zoom out, don't I? Okay. Now the thing is, I can let this dry and then come over it with a little bit of a sanding block and get rid of some of the paint on top of the clocks and gears. The other thing is I can take a baby wipe and thin that down. A baby wipe works great for doing washes as well, especially blending between 2 colors. Okay, so more water than paint, but enough paint for it to adhere. to what you're doing. And you can do this on everything. It's not just paper. We're talking paper mache and canvas, etc. All right. So let me come to a painting that when I got home and I was thinking about what I wanted to do on the live today, and just some of the like #1 things that were asked while I was at OKC with washes, I thought this would be a good example. So this one was painted with water-soluble oils. Okay, now when you're painting with oils, we know the colors aren't dry. They're going to mix. You're going to get some really cool effects. This one was done with acrylics. Now, what I love about this one that really stood out to me is this area right here. Okay, you can still see the highlight, right? You can still see the stems. But on the acrylic one, the stems just kind of stick out a little too much, in my opinion. You have to have dark to see light and light to see dark. So I thought, you know what? I don't know why I did not do this on this painting, but I'm going to pick up water in my brush, some Payne's Gray, and work that into an inky consistency. Tap it across my paper towel because I can build up the layers. And I just want to tone this down. Okay, now can you see already a little bit of a difference? I can. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but let's take it a step further. I'm gonna do a little bit of asphaltum. Asphaltum is a fantastic neutralizer. So if you have something too bright, you can come in and neutralize it with a little bit of asphaltum. Okay, so this is the second layer. Now what I should have done was probably let it sit for a second because my canvas is hot. But hopefully you can see how much that already diffused things, right? Now I'm just going to pick up a little bit more water and some asphaltum. Okay, these petals are closer to me. These petals are further back because these are brighter and those are pushed back with a little bit of color. You can see it more on the one that I did with water-soluble oils, where these are brighter and that's pushed back. Now we know you can do oils over acrylic, but not acrylic over oils, right? So this is acrylic. I'm not going to touch this one. But with that asphaltum, I could come in with a little bit of a wash right there on those petals. I could even use a little quinacridone gold if I want to introduce a little bit of orange, like from that center, right? But do you see how that just pushed that back even more and brought those more into the foreground? So same thing, again, a little bit of asphaltum. And I'm just going to do a wash on some of those petals. Use your finger. Or fingers, I should say, okay, to push it back. This is the one main area, though, that I just thought, wow, that really could be pushed back a little bit more. You still see the highlight, but where it starts to get dark in that vase, where there's no light hitting it, you can push those, subdue those, with a wash of color. Okay, now coming back real quick, last thing, I wanted to show you that, oops, oh, my little charms. So if we did, I'm going to grab a pencil just for my, okay. So let's say we're doing a poinsettia. Okay, and you would think, oh, let's just go ahead and base coat it with red. Nope. Let's base coat it with yellow first. So this is bright yellow. All right, and then let's let that dry. So no, those aren't new. I did that at, I don't know if it was Creative Painting in Vegas or if it was Hoot. But then I painted with a chapter that didn't paint in oils, but they loved that piece and wanted to do it in acrylic, so I modified it. Okay, so we have a yellow leaf, right? Let's just build up a little bit of color. So I'm going to build up with a little bit of, oh, did I not? I didn't grab it. I'm just going to grab some watermelon slice, which is really pretty. There is an e-packet on my website, Loretta. So this is Tea Berry. This came out in 2022, I think. Again, my number 8 brush is wet, my number 8 flat. See, you've got some water in there. You're going to pick up a little bit of that tea berry. And this over the yellow is going to give you a little bit of an orangey color. Right. Again, don't worry about outside the lines. And this has no gesso on it. So what I like about this technique, guys, is that I'm not a watercolor artist. Watercolor just evades my, I don't know. I like to put on color, and leaving spaces and white I know sometimes is hard for us who paint with acrylics. However, give it a go with some layering and see if you can achieve some of the same great results without having to go through some of the watercolor steps. So again, red alert, and I do have some crimson red, so my brush is wet. I'm going to pick up some of the red alert, tap it across my paper towel. But just think about when you're painting, if you don't like something, backtrack. So do you need to go back in and add a little bit of a dry brush to bring some color back in if you got it too dark? Okay, so see, we're getting to a little bit orangey state, right? But can you still see the yellow underneath? That's what I'm talking about with washes. You just get an abundance of color. Hello, Deanne. Aw, thank you so much. Love that you took that class with me. You were in the back right, correct? Back right table. Please tell me yes, or my memory's not as good as I thought. Okay, now we'll come in with the crimson red. And again, I just have this on the angle brush. Now that doesn't mean you don't want to come in with a little bit, you know, darker shading or a little more of a highlight. But what I want you to see is that you can still see all the colors that we've washed. The yellow, the tea berry, and the crimson red. And yes, good point. They are subtle. And you see yellows in different places versus doing a base coat, a highlight, and a shade. Okay, I would still come in and highlight this. But let me show you how I would highlight it. Yes, Back right table. And she's a beautiful artist, by the way, too, Deanne. Okay, so I would come in with like my Mezzaluna, and do I have it? Yeah, I do. A little warm white. This is the thing. Yes, Loretta hit the nail on the head. Get those colors out and just play. Play and see what comes. And if you're not liking it, paint a wash over it. If it's too bright, paint a wash of your base color. So if your base color is citron green, or if you're like, it's way too bright, do a base color of your dark, which is plantation pine, on a leaf. Right, so I'm just going to pick up a little bit of warm white, and on the highlighted side, so I loaded it up, wiped it off. I'm going to do a dry brush there and a little bouncing of light over on the other side. All right, and then pick up that red alert, maybe a little bit of that crimson, and I can go over it, soften it with your finger or with a mop brush. And what that's going to do is it's still going to give you a highlight. Okay? It just subdues it. Subdues. Aw, thank you, Teresa. Yes, and that's the key to Loretta, is just knowing what colors to kind of play with, right? You know, if you're doing a leaf, I'm just going to do an unexpected color, okay? So I just did that one with peacock teal. And my stem's not attached in the right place, but that's okay. Y'all, don't forget, leave me in the comments if you have an art store, a fine art store, a scrapbook creating store in your area, or if you just have the big box stores. I love that, Virginia. So Virginia said, I'm going to practice this on some of my old pieces I buried in the closet because I didn't like them. Maybe some strategic washes will save them. Can I just tell you? Absolutely. It is, when I started painting in washes, I was blown away with the change that it creates and makes. So this is peacock teal, right? Now I'm going to come in with a wash. You can see on my palette there in the right corner with plantation pine. Down that stem, and then let me just use my mop brush just to soften it a little. Okay, so do you see how that just changed it? That's just plantation pine, but then I can come in with some plantation pine and put in my shading. I'm going to make it dark before I make it light. I don't want to get into the color. All right, so that has plantation pine and a touch of Payne's gray. But then I could come back with some of the green gold. Probably should let it dry, and get some brightness there on the highlight. All right, so just play with it. And you're like, ugh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this color. I really liked that turquoise in there. I can still see the turquoise in there because these are transparent layers of color. And then maybe I bring back a transparent layer of peacock teal. And I get more of a bluey green leaf. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some idea of how to change the temperature of your piece with some cool or warm colors. Okay, so even on that blue, I just have a baby wipe and I went over that to bring some of the white up, but I could come in with some of that peacock teal and as a wash darken some areas. And I say a wash because I have very little paint on a wet baby wipe. Right, okay, I'll just flip it over and do some asphaltum, just a bit. And you could do the same thing with the flat brush, the encaustic ovals, but see how it's making the underneath a wash of the darker color and still keeping your design. So I'm gonna use this for something. I don't know what, but I'm gonna use it for something. All right, what else did I have to show or share? Do I have that? Oh, I want to show you, when you're stenciling, don't be afraid to use your stencil as your source. And this one's small. I wish I had found my bigger one. This is Fall Icons. So when you use a stencil, then just come back in with your brush. You've already got the shape, right? So I can come in with a wash of green. But you still see that yellow, right? And then you can just build up your layers. Use some oranges. It's strange that in my city of over 1 million people, there are very few art stores, right? Yes. And again, at those stores, guys, just, you know, let them know. If you're not happy, if you're not pleased with what they're offering, I know I'm not. I went to both the other day, and there are many things that I was not real happy in seeing, and that is just the, I don't know, private labeling, knockoff, whatever. So I want my Deco Art paint, and I want to be able to buy it in a big box store. So that's just a little bit of the cobalt turquoise hue. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying with washes? Just layer, have fun, try not to overthink it. This one, again, I want to come in with a little bit of that green gold because it's such a blue leaf to show you the difference. So this is fluid acrylic, which is very transparent and highly pigmented with water. Okay. And again, what I love about it is I can see the green, I can see the blue, I can see the yellow base. All right. Totally agree, Barbara. They, let me just come right down here. I got that comment, I think last week when I posted something, and someone said they have the same things, the same color, and it's not the whole line. Now, we know Deco Art has a lot of colors, right? As I'm sure folk art and other paints do. And we can't get all 400 or 390 plus colors. So I would just want to challenge you to look in your area for fine art shops, for retailers in your area. I I do shop online, but I would much rather shop at a small establishment in person, like Binders in Atlanta, which isn't far from me. So when I go up in October, I'm planning to shop. And yeah, I think the focus should be to find ways to get young. Yeah, so young people are painting. Let me just tell you, I've seen some of the biggest influencers painting banners and things with Americana paint. They're just painting differently. And I don't know if it's because I was a little late to the game, that there was a little bit of a standoffish from traditional toll decorative painting with any other kind of art. And I'm just a firm believer, if I can put a brush in someone's hand and show them how to use the paint, that they will be hooked. And it doesn't matter if you use your fingers or do a wash or smush things around. It's being creative and allowing yourself to play and see what happens. So in your downtime of doing things, whether you're a seasoned painter, designer, whatever, get those paints out and just play and have fun and try new things. And that's why a journal's great. You can try new things without ruining a $10 piece surface, right? And just see how it goes. So I hope I shared some tips with you guys. Again, I was so pleasantly pleased when I shared with this lady in my class how you can do a wash, and she said that that would have saved her a lot of projects over the years. So anyway, okay, I will be back with you guys next Sunday, hopefully with a little project. We'll see. I'm in the midst of getting things ready for this convention, New England Traditions. And all the cutting for that palette piece is a lot. So we'll get there though. If you're going to NET, I look forward to seeing you there. Let me show you the new colors, because I know I used a couple new colors like Crimson Red. I'm not sure if you can still get those. The first one is not H1, it's H2, okay? And then don't forget, you can also get on my website, you can get that free printable to swatch out your colors, because there's nothing better than being able to see and swatch out the colors to know the true shade of them. All right. So I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Get those brushes out. Do something creative. And if you're not feeling it, base coat something in. All right. And then don't forget to leave a little sparkle wherever you go, and a little paint trail too. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, share. You'll be entered into the Happy Mail giveaways.